Pleasure of introducing the first company. So Healy Cipher, many of you may have known him from his eBay days. We've known each other for about 5 years. Actually, coincidentally, we launched some digital storefronts right outside this very wall. So if you know Healy, you know a couple things about him. He wears pants that are too tight for him. He's the only guy who is able to pull off the sockless penny loafer look. But as our first presenter today, he is really passionate. If you're not familiar with Oak, Oak has really built a connected store platform. They've gotten some notoriety around a very cool connected mirror inside of dressing rooms for places like Rebecca Minkoff and Ralph Lauren and others. And so he's going to come up here and talk today, not just about the mirror, but really what they're doing going forward, and actually, I think, announcing a new product in front of all of you. So without delay, I'll introduce Healy.
Come on, they're not, they're tight, but it's not that bad. Morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. I wanted to echo all those words. This has been an amazing program, and we're really honored to be part of it. So my name's Healy. It is my real name, CEO and founder of Oak. And my story actually started about 5 years ago when I was at eBay. I was serving as a chief of staff to the CTO, and we'd have all these retailers coming in, and we'd pitch them e-com solutions for 6 and 8 hours at a time. And at the ending, they'd always ask the same thing. They go, okay, this is great. Now, what about the in-store tech stuff? And we were like, the what? We had really nothing to say. So we started Oak. And Oak's entire thesis is the future of retail will be software defined, and we're going to tell you all about it. But here's the reason this matters. It's because this photo is real. This is actually a department store in 1916. And this is actually a department store in 2016. So I think what we can say has definitively changed is we definitely now have color cameras. So how have we gotten away with this? Well, it's because if you look historically, as a retailer, if you wanted to grow top-line revenue, what'd you do? Threw down more stores. And this is also true. We now have 45 square feet in the US of retail space for every man, woman, and child. That's like my first apartment in New York. It's crazy. And so what's happened as a result is, well, sales per square foot has taken a bit of a dive. We hit a saturation point. And in now what we call the post-Amazon era, it is impossible to compete solely on proximity, selection, and price. You've got to compete on experience. Easy to say, right? Really hard to do. It's really hard to get experiences in your store. And so we say, guys, we know there's a lot of stuff out there. Let's try to focus how we think about it. So we say, in the same way you think about e-com, it's a conversion funnel. How many people are going from the landing page to the product page to the cart to buying? The store is identical. When you walk into a store, you're probably doing one of two things. You probably know what you want, searching, or you'd like inspiration, browsing. Search versus browse. Sounds kind of like a home page. As you see products on shelves, product pages go into the fitting room. That's a cart, checkout. Checkout. It's the best part of the metaphor, actually. And so we built the Oak operating system. And what it is the first connected store platform that pulls in 4 very important pieces of information. The first, online assets. The second is inventory from the store. Third is CRM data, and the fourth is point of sale. And if you're in retail, you know that basically that's everything. And upon that, you can build some amazing experiences. So we started in the fitting room. And the way the Oak Mirror works is, I'm going to go and tell you a little bit more about the platform before I go to the mirror. We think about it in 2 buckets. So there's explicit technology. There's technology you see. Customers walk in, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's experiences, it's viral. But there's also, probably even more important, the implicit technology. So it's technology customers don't really see. But for some reason, the store just works. It's just better. Lines are shorter. Everything's in the right place. And so we're going to tell you a little bit about our first piece of tech, the explicit, and then announce our implicit. So this is our first product. This is the Oak Mirror. When we launched this with Ralph Lauren, David mentioned Minkoff as well. You walk in, and the mirror itself actually comes alive. It's pretty cool. Lights go up. It sees everything else you brought into the fitting room. And you can change the lighting. You can change the language. You can request other sizes, colors, and recommendations from the mirror. It goes to an associate who, when they respond, by the way, it shows their name and face. So we're not dehumanizing the store experience. We're rehumanizing it, because that's the reason you came into the store. Finally, you can push it to your phone. Good-looking associate there. You can push it to your phone, and buy later, kind of like abandoned cart in the physical world. Or, we just built this, it's so cool, you can tap your phone in the glass, buy everything in the fitting room, and also buy the things that weren't in the store but are available online. Single tap, blended cart. So we launched this about 10 months ago, and we've seen some really compelling results. So to date, and this is in a few cities now, over 20,000 unique customers have used this. We've had, on average, 84 out of 100 people use it, meaningful use cases. So they walk in and they use the interface an average of 5.7 taps in. But more importantly, and I'm really excited to tell you guys about this, is we've done a lot of basket size analysis. We found that when someone uses this mirror for a request versus doesn't use it at all, the average basket lift is 59%. Yeah. All of this, by the way, while spending 40% less time in the fitting room. So we think the new metric is not just dollars per square foot, it's dollars per minute per square foot. No one wants to wait for anything. And so speaking of waiting, we started looking at some data. We started getting data that I think has actually really never been technically gathered in the history of retail. Obvious stuff. What percentage of traffic is going into the fitting room, what garments are converting versus other ones. That's interesting. Think about the merch team. And also, service levels. How long would it take when you ask for something for that item to actually enter the fitting room? So associates said it'll be about 3 minutes. We were like, that's a good target. Guess what the actual answer was? 6 minutes and 15 seconds. As long as 12 or 18 minutes. Can you imagine standing in a fitting room with your pants off for, actually don't do that, for 12 minutes? It's a long time. And so of course when you run the analysis, guess what plummets when service plummets? Conversion. People just bounce. And so we went into the store, and we were going to get pretty rowdy with them, like, yo, what are you guys doing? Like, you got to get better at your job. And they were trying really hard. They had these radios that were really hard to communicate. So we built, and we're announcing today, the Oak Stockroom tool. And this is a really, really simple, effective tool. The way it works is if you have a request from the front of the house, you scan the tag, shows you inventory, you press a button, and it goes bling, and it shows a product image, which I know seems pretty obvious. They don't usually have those in stores, of what they've asked for, where it's got to go, and starts counting down the clock. All of a sudden, they know they're being timed. Someone's going to see that. We've seen in the first tests over 60 days, this has taken the average intra-store fulfillment from 6 minutes and 15 seconds down to 1 minute and 39. And there's a lot more here. I mean, predictive replenishment, looking at point of sale. We can talk about it more if you want to. So as I mentioned, we launched with Ralph Lauren. We've been really busy. We have a lot more logos coming up. We're actually launching around the world now, which is really exciting, also really crazy, some of these brands. And this is possible because this is the best team I've ever worked with in my entire life. Uniquely suited for retail tech. People from Google, from PayPal, from you name it, they came from there. But really, it's people who know deep retail, people who know technology. And we built this entire platform to work in retail. Because guess what? If you don't do that, it's going to fail. And we all have probably experienced that. So I'm really thankful to them. So in conclusion, I think in the same way that Tesla looked at cars, and Tesla said, we want to hit a button and have the entire car change. We think that stores will be the same way. You're going to hit a button, and the whole store will change. And this is why we built Oak, is to create that software-defined future. Thanks.